What's going on, everyone? Today we'll be taking a look at two different charging stations from Anker Prime. We have the Flagship model, which can put out 250 watts, and then I also have a more affordable model, which can put out 200 watts. So if you happen to be shopping for a desktop charger or just want a way to tidy up your desk, stick around and I'll be going over all the features and benefits of these chargers. Last but not least, I'll also be going over their very durable USB-C cable, which is miles ahead in quality compared to anything else on the market. All right, so first off, we'll be taking a look at the 250 watt charger. And as you can see here, this is a very sleek and well-made looking unit. A lot of these desktop chargers look very plain and kind of generic and cheap looking, but this one definitely has a very premium look to it. As you can see right here in the front, it has a 2.26-inch LCD screen. It looks a little dim on camera, but that's only because I have these very bright studio lights. But in person, this has more than enough brightness to read very easily. Right here at the side, you have this little dial, and that's to change between your settings or select the port if you want to see more settings for that specific port as well. I'll be going over all of this in a little bit. So looking at your ports, right here in the front, you have 4 USB-C ports. As I said earlier, this can put out a total of 250 watts. And then right here on the side, you also have 2 USB-A ports. And then coming around back, you have the power cable, which does feel nice and thick and well made as well. So one thing I really like about this charger, like I said earlier, a lot of these look generic. So when you put it on your desk, it looks more like an eyesore rather than something that complements your desk. But because of how sleek this one looks with the glossy front and LED screen, this is something that will complement your desk. So if you have it right there by your screen, nice little unit. And then this also has a clock as well. So right here, this is what they look like. There's a few different themes you can choose from. And as you can see right here, there is an app that connects to this charger as well. And this can be connected through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So to get more themes, you'll have to connect to that app. Besides the clock settings, there's also several other things you can do on the app as well, which I'll be going over in a little bit. So when it comes to the port wattages, USB-C port 1 can do 140 watts, and then ports 2 to 4 can do 100 watts each. And this also has intelligent power control where you can set it up so it manages power manually, or you can also set it up with specific instructions on what to output on each port or which one has more priority. So just to show you that really quick, there's a few different things here, but I'll be going over most of this on the app as that gives you more of an explanation and shows you examples. So right here you have mode. You can set it from port priority, dual laptop, low current mode, or AI power mode. And besides modes right there, you can also move this around to select which port. And once you select the port, you can select port priority for the port on or off right there as well. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug in a few different things and see how close we can get it to that 250 watt limit. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that pulls more than about 100 watts, so I'm not gonna be able to test out that 140 watt capability, but it shouldn't make a difference as we can go ahead and load up some more power on the rest of these ports as well. So one thing I want to point out real quick is not every USB-C cable is the same. Generally, if a cable is not rated, it typically only puts out 60 watts at the most. And then if you wanted to put out 100, 140, 240, and so on, you usually have to have a cable that's rated for that power. So if you have a device that's not getting the current that you know it's supposed to get, that's when you most likely just need to get a better cable, such as the one I'll be going over in a little bit. As you see, this one puts 240 watts. So first off, let me go ahead and plug in my MacBook Pro. I think this charges at a max about 90 watts, something like that. Devices will also charge at less or more wattages depending on how much battery the device has. So as you can see here, it is pulling about 80 watts, kind of jumping around between 70 and 80. Right here, I also have a tablet. Generally, tablets don't pull much more than about 40 watts if it's a newer one. This one's kind of old, so it's probably only going to pull about 20, 25 watts maybe. All right, so that bumped us up to about 100 watts. Right here, I also have a portable game console. Let's go ahead and add that into the mix. So it looked like that bumped us up to about 140. And last but not least, let me go ahead and plug in one of my favorite Anker power banks. And as you can see, we are now pulling a little over 200 watts. All right, so I actually had it set to port priority mode and didn't realize it. I went ahead and set it to AI mode so it'll distribute the power a little better. And as you can see, we're now up to 224 watts, 224, 222. So yeah, it looks like we're hovering right around 224 watts. So again, definitely very impressive for this little charger. So my MacBook Pro is a 14-inch older model, but if you have a newer 16-inch MacBook Pro, this is going to be able to charge it from 0 to 50% in only 25 minutes, or 0 to 100 in 1 hour and 31 minutes, which is basically the maximum charge you can get with a 16-inch MacBook Pro. And one thing I also like about this charger is this is a GaN or gallium nitride charger, and this is going to be a lot more efficient and put out less heat compared to a conventional regular charger. Before we dive into the app, another great feature to have on this is called Active Shield 3.0. What this does is monitor this charger 6 million times per day to ensure it's charging under safe conditions. Besides this, the charger also protects itself and your devices from over voltage, short circuits, and a lot more. I'll also throw up an image up on the screen so you can see what they all are as well. All right, so as I said earlier, this has app connectivity, and I'm pretty sure Anker is the only brand to actually have an app that goes with its charging dock. Might seem like an odd thing to have, but it's definitely very convenient and useful to have. So taking a look at the app, right here you have your voltage and amps for each port. Right down here you have your real-time data, which shows your output charging, and this has overall as well as for each individual port as well, so you can see how much power you're putting out to your devices. You have your charging mode. Again, a lot of this could be changed right here on the device. And as you can see right here, it says this mode intelligently identifies connected equipment and automatically allocates the most suitable power. Up next, you have port priority allocation. So if you want to prioritize 2 devices on here, you can do that. You have dual laptop mode, where it'll prioritize the power to the laptops, making sure they get the best charge before the other devices. You have low current mode, and then you have custom mode. This basically gives you the ability to have custom chargers programmed into each port. So you can have number 1 at a maximum of 46 watts, number 2 at a max of 22 watts. Maybe you want to give number 3 the majority. You can give that 100 watts. As you can see up here, I already distributed 168 of 250, and you can go ahead and just give the remainder to the last one, or however you want to set it up. Very, very flexible setup to get that fine-tuned and set up how you like. Up next, you have clock display. You can set that on or off, and then right here you have your clock themes. As you can see right here, you have quite a few different options to choose from. So you can go ahead and look through those and find the one that best works for you, or you can also turn this off and just have the screen go black as well if you prefer. Right down here, you have switch control, where you can individually turn on or off each port. You can select a shutdown timer, and then you can even set a power on and power off timer. And again, that's for every single port as well. So tons and tons of program settings on this charger. All right, so up next we have their more affordable but still very capable 200 watt model. As you can see, this one shares a very similar look with the same texture on top. Also feels very well made. Then you also have the same glossy front as well. Right here we have 4 USB-C ports and 2 USB-A ports. So in comparison, this one has the USB-C on the front and then the A's on the side, but this has everything right here in the front. This is only 50 watts less than this one, so it's pretty much going to be able to handle the same kind of load. As I showed you earlier, all those devices I had plugged in were only pulling 220 watts. This one is 200 watts, so slightly less, but it's still going to be able to handle about the same load. So you can either do a laptop, 2 laptops, or a laptop and several other devices. Unlike this one, you don't have different ways to distribute it. This one just has the AI distribution, but again, still a very good charger. So you have 2 quick charge USB-A ports, and then this can do 100 watt on any port. So with laptops, this can charge 2 14-inch MacBook Pros to 50% in just 28 minutes. So not only can it charge higher power devices, but also charge them very quickly as well. Same as this one, also has GaN technology, so not going to get that hot, and also it's going to be more efficient. So all in all, both very good chargers. If you want all the bells and whistles, then this is definitely going to be the one to go with. But if you want something a little more simple, but still be able to charge all your devices, that's where this one is going to be a great option as well. All right, so last but not least, we have their ultra durable and fast charging USB-C cable. As you can see here, this is their 6-foot model that can put out a maximum of 240 watts. Before I dive into all the specifications on what makes this wire different from everything else out there, just holding this in my hand, I can feel how premium and well made this is. The cable just feels very rugged, and then these tips here are hands down the best that I felt on any USB-C cable so far. Just a very, very solid and well-made feeling to it. All right, so as you can see right here with the cable, they include this convenient little tie here, and it is stuck onto the wire. So whenever you want to roll it up, just loop it back around and clip it just like that. Like I said, this is a 6-foot cable, so this is the longer model. So I looked around, and based on the specifications, this is the most durable 240 watt cable on the market. This cable is actually certified to last more than 300,000 bends, which is 8 times more durable than Anker's previous cables. So doing the math, if you bend this cable 8 times a day, it will last 100 years. Even if it gets bended 32 times a day, you're still getting 25 years out of this cable, which is a very long time for a cable to last. I've owned many other USB-C cables that break within 3 to 6 months, so definitely a huge night and day difference there. So looking at the actual cable, Anker says this is a upcycled braided cable that is designed to support 220 pounds, which is just an insane amount of strength for a USB-C cable. So if you have this cable and you're in an emergency situation, you can use this to haul something with you, tie something up. So not very realistic. I don't think anyone's going to do that, but nice to know that it has that strength. This way, if someone trips on it or it accidentally gets tugged, you don't have to worry about it ripping or anything like that. So while it might seem like a odd rating to have, definitely very useful into making a tough and durable cable that won't break under regular usage. As I said earlier, most USB-C cables are only rated for 60 watts. This one is capable of 240 watts, which is currently the max wattage you can get from USB-C. So no matter what device you have, this will be able to charge it at its max speed. This includes phones, laptops, tablets, portable gaming consoles, and much more as well. Another advantage this cable has is it's rated to work in both very high and very low temperatures. Apparently, this cable was tested and confirmed to work for 72 plus hours in as low as -40 Fahrenheit to as high as 176 degrees Fahrenheit. So regardless of where you are in the world or how hot or cold it is, this cable is always going to be reliable at charging your devices. Overall, these are definitely great charging stations. They feel well made, they're packed with features, and best of all, they also come at great prices for everything you're getting as well. Then, of course, if you're shopping for a durable and well-made USB-C cable, I would highly recommend the one I have here. If you would like to purchase or get more information, I'll also have the links in the description as well. Alright, well that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.